Welcome. Join us on Facebook at the Ladies Room Podcast
Exactly.
group
I
chat.
said I was gonna do something, and I'm gonna do everything in my power to do it.
To do it, and
Okay,
it don't
not
have nothing
because
to do
it's
with the
this
other
person,
person.
but because this is what I signed up for.
Correct.
All right,
You
y'all. We
know,
got a caller, okay? I'm sorry, we got a caller. Caller, go ahead, introduce yourself.
Yeah, my name is Russ, and I see y'all talking about a subject matter that's really kind of sensitive. You're
Okay. Okay. What do you want to add?
Yeah. I want to add that it's every man's birthright to have multiple women.
And how do you figure that?
It's been like that since day one.
How is it his right? What do you mean his right?
It's in his birthright to be like that, especially if he's financially stable.
But what do you mean birthright? What does that mean? Who gives you this birthright? A birthright is something you're just born with. What do you mean by that?
Well, let me ask you a question. Well, why is it that there's men out there with multiple baby mothers?
Wait, what? Why? Because of poor.
Why are there women out there with multiple baby
Because of
daddies?
poor choices and lack of self-control, and because of people who think like you that, oh, I'm a man, I should be able to do this.
But there's also women who have multiple baby daddies. So what is the point?
and people just don't wear condoms when they need to. Let's just, we're gonna be basic about it.
Having babies with women you complain about isn't a goal, isn't an accomplishment.
No female wants to date a dude that can't get chicks.
What?
And that's a good fact.
Okay, so women have certain things that we like, just like men do. You saying that is like saying no man wants to date a woman that can't get men. Like, it's not about that. Nobody's like,
a male and female is totally different. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that.
What are you talking about? You have to like.
Who told you that? You know, you're talking to a panel full of women. No, first of all, I want to know who told you these things about women. That's what I'm.
Yo, hold on, pump the brakes real quick, y'all. Y'all jumping me on here, you know what I mean?
Because you're talking to a panel full of women who are telling you, no, we don't think like that. And you're like, that is how you think. Like, no, we don't.
Right.
Well, let me say this. When a female sleeps around, it leaves this bad stigma on her. When a man sleeps around, it
leaves a bad stigma on you. For some women do care. Some women don't want.
Most women.
Some women don't want. Listen, some women don't. Okay, society has said, okay, men can be out here doing what they do. Okay, we understand that. Society gives you that. But that doesn't take away the fact that it shows a lack of self-control or a lack of sexual discretion. The type of women that a lot of men want to marry don't want a man that's out here willy-nilly. Now, you can have a lot of people.
A man who sleeps around gets STDs just like a woman who sleeps around. That's it. You don't have to explain nothing else. A man who sleeps around is out here passing out packages.
But listen, what you're saying is that you don't come across women who have that standard. That's what you're saying. There are women who don't want men who got STDs and, who sleep with any and everything. What you're saying is that you're accustomed to women who are okay with it. That's what you're saying.
Nobody wants to copulate with somebody that has a STD.
But the more people that you're sleeping with, the more you're exposing yourself to STDs.
Right.
That's just the reality.
That you're gonna have STDs.
Huh?
You know what I'm saying?
No, I said the more that you sleep around, the more you're exposing yourself to STDs, and especially the STD rate.
He making them all get tested first.
Especially the STD rate in the Black community.
What do you say? What do you say, sir?
He making them all get tested first.
Guy sleeps around does not mean he automatically has STD.
Okay,
I didn't say automatically. I said a man who sleeps around is more likely to have STD.
Exactly.
That's just the reality.
So you meet a woman today, and she finds out that you sleep around. Her thought, if she's smart and has any type of self-worth, will be, oh, wait a minute, this dude probably has some STDs.
Right. And it's just like someone who's a criminal is more likely to go to jail. It doesn't mean that they're going to go to jail. Some people get away with crime, but if you're committing crime, you're more likely to go to jail than people who are not. Same thing with people who are sleeping around a lot. You're exposing yourself to more STDs just by the number. Just by the number of people who are walking around here with STDs. So the more people you sleeping with, the more you're exposing yourself to it, and y'all not going to the doctor. So I don't care what you're talking about. And you're not testing people before you sleep with them. And you're not using condoms.
So do you want to get married one day?
No, I'm not an advocate for marriage. Anybody who gets married is a sucker.
Oh, okay. But a man who sleeps around with a lot of women who he doesn't deem worthy of marriage is not a sucker.
It's almost like these jokes write themselves.
Hold on. Why are men that get married suckers?
Yo, let me speak real quick. A man that's able to sleep with multiple women, he has some type of value. And a female's not just going to sleep.
Okay,
with
listen.
any random dude.
Listen.
Wait, let him finish. Let him finish. I would like to hear his ideas on this. This is interesting.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's not just athletes sleeping around and getting chicks like that. There's normal dudes with normal bread that does the same thing.
Okay.
So caller, do you feel like your value as a man lies in the fact that you sleep with multiple women? Is that what you're sharing?
Yes.
That's not what I'm saying.
Yes, it is.
Okay, no. Okay, so I'm just asking. I just want to hear from you. What when you say that you run into the fact that men who sleep with multiple women, that's like a value. Like that makes them valuable.
You literally just said that, right?
I told y'all these niggas don't be knowing what they be talking about. Stop listening to them.
Well, let him speak. Let him speak because he did call in. I just want him to answer. Caller, can you clarify or provide some kind of details behind that?
The man that's able to sleep with multiple women, yes, that guy is somewhat of a valuable dude because it's not easy to smash random
It's
chicks.
very easy. If you hit them, it's easy.
So what else makes this
who
man
is that
valuable?
valuable to? Exactly. Who is that valuable to? Do you think I find it valuable that a man can sleep with another woman? How does that bring value to my life?
Wait, what do you say?
You guys are being disingenuous. Like
it's easy to smash a lot of women. It's not easy to stay married to one though.
Listen,
So you're taking the easy route. You're taking the easy route by smashing these low self-esteem women who don't care, who probably just want sex and nothing else. That's cool. That's easy work. That's easy work. No man has a problem getting pussy. No man on earth, even the dirtiest dudes gets pussy. Even the fattest dudes get pussy. Even the brokest dudes get pussy. Niggas that's homeless gets pussy. So how you sitting here saying something is not easy? It's very easy. Don't try to make it seem like getting pussy is hard. You try to act like you got an outstanding job of getting pussy, and you don't. You have it easy just like every other dude that's getting pussy. You're not doing nothing spectacular, bro. If you think you got some pussy and you all happy, you celebrating yourself against some pussy, I really know that you really don't get pussy.
Russ, is that his name? Is his name Russ?
Russ, what were you saying? Now, Russ, listen. I want to hear what you have to say, but you also have to be willing to listen, okay?
So you guys are not even letting me get my words out.
Go ahead.
Like, everybody is like, like yo, it's like everybody's triggered on what I'm saying, man.
Okay, Russ,
you can go ahead. You can go ahead. We're listening.
Go ahead, Russ.
All right, listen. It is not easy for the average dude to bag a chick. A chick is not just going to sleep with any dude. A dude got to bring some type of value into whatever he's dealing with that chick at the moment. You know what I mean? Whether if he's aesthetically inclined, or he has some money, or he got an ill mouthpiece. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And if the dude is able to sleep with multiple women, he get a high five for that because that is not an easy thing. You know what I mean? Listen,
easy for me.
I have a question, Russ. How old are you, if you don't mind me asking? How old are you, Russ?
About to say 53. Got to surprise y'all.
Or your age range. You don't have to tell me your exact age, but can you share your age range?
About to surprise us.
I'm 36.
Okay. Have you been married before, Russ? And do you have any children?
No, I have no kids. I will never get married. I just pump and dump. That's it. That's how.
Okay.
Okay.
So what are the costs and benefits of that behavior for you, Russ? What are the costs and benefits? What benefits you with the pump and dump?
Well, let me.
Nigga, you got kids out here. You ain't taking care of your kids.
The reason why I'm asking, Russ, is because you use a very important word there. You use value.
Dumping all these women. You
one at a time, y'all. One at a time. Go ahead, Jogo. Her question, please.
You use the word values a lot, Russ, as I've been listening to you, and I just want to know from you. You know, you say you pump and dump. You're not. Marriage is not for you. Obviously, you're 36. Other than his ability to sleep with multiple women, or even yourself, what makes you a valuable man to where you can pump and dump? I mean, how do you get to that place?
Listen. The reason why I moved the way I moved because the modern day woman, she's looking for an uneven exchange. You know what I'm saying? They want a traditional male when they're not traditional themselves. You know what I mean? So you reap what you sow. You know what I mean?
Okay, so wait a minute. So Russ, do you consider yourself a traditional man?
No, I'm not a traditional man.
Okay, so you shouldn't have a problem with non-traditional women.
Nah, I mean I'm not gonna marry a non-traditional woman because it doesn't benefit me.
Okay, it doesn't.
But the pump and dump does benefit you, is what you're saying.
Let me ask him this. Wait, hold on. Listen, so wait, Russ, Russ? I have a question. Russ, I got a question.
Yeah,
Are you beneficial to a traditional woman?
Of course.
How?
I'm financially stable. I got my own house, and I'm able to do things with bread.
Are you smart? Are you wise? Do you make good choices?
Of course.
Would you be a good father? Are you respectful? Can you cover your wife?
And would you saying that would the pump and dump cease and decease, or would you continue to pump and dump as a husband?
Go ahead. What, Joe? What was that?
No, I was just asking Russ, as a husband, if he did decide to go down that route. Say you meet a traditional woman, Russ.
That's not.
No. I'm just hypothetically speaking. I'm not saying you will, but let's just say you did. Would the pump and dump cease and desist? Would you have the same? Would you live the expectations of a husband? Would they match up with the expectations that you have for a traditional wife? Do you think you represent what you would want to see if hypothetically you did get married?
Yeah, that's obsolete. Like this.
No. I'm just asking a question. Do you represent or do you mirror what you want out of quote unquote the traditional woman? Do you mirror that as far as loyalty? Say that again. I'm sorry.
Let me answer. Go ahead.
Y'all are triggered over here. Yeah? But I have the capabilities of being a traditional man, but it's no point because the female, like she could destroy the relationship at any given moment within that relationship, whether if it's 9 months after the marriage or 10 years down the marriage. She could wake up and call it a day and reap certain benefits that a male, you know what I mean?
Okay, so
you gave up on women, huh?
Prenuptial agreements. If you're worried about your money, that's why you have prenuptial.
Let me ask you this, Russ.
It's not about the money; it's the principle. You know what I mean?
Principle.
A prenuptial will get thrown out of court. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It doesn't hold
Russell, if you're scared, go to church, bro. Go ahead. If you're scared,
I just want to Russell. I want to thank you for not reproducing.
Like this generation has divested from religion. So why would I factor that in?
It was a joke. I was just saying that if you're afraid to get married or you're afraid to be in a relationship because you're afraid someone is going to leave you, I was just kind of saying that's no way to live life.
Why would they leave you though, Russell? Why would they leave you? You're just such a ebony humper. You're the ebony humper. They wouldn't leave you.
The ebony umbrella.
Russ, I'm gonna say this, and I'm asking you these questions because you use words like values and principles, and you know principles are things that you do to protect what you value, right? Right, Russ? Right. So I want to encourage you. Okay, let me just say this, okay? Because I'm not judging you. I'm not telling you what you need to do. But what I'm saying to you is this, because your opening comment was men should be able to sleep around. They should be able to do these things. I'm gonna just end with you mentioned birthright. I'm gonna just end with this, okay? No matter what you decide to do in life. I always tell people that if you don't lead with that same energy that you're looking to get, you're not going to get the things that you want to get in life. And it sounds like to me that pumping and dumping has been beneficial to you until it's not beneficial. Okay. So I think that if you're looking for, and you may not even want to marry her, maybe you want her to be someone who's a long-term companion, whatever, or maybe you're not looking at all, but I'm just saying that in all that you do, if you're going to value it and you want somebody else who's involved, if you want them to value it, if you want them to be a person of principle, it might be a good idea for you to show up that way as well. Because if you're not going to get most people expect more from other people than what they actually do for themselves. And I think you probably heard me mention that earlier in the show.
Let me interject real quick. What you're talking about doesn't even exist. The stats even prove it. 50% of marriages end into the divorce, and 75% of the time is the woman that initiates the divorce. My man.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I've been married for almost 18 years, so I'm not an expert or anything, but I can probably share with you what it's like when you have unrealistic expectations when you're dealing with another person. And a lot of times those marriages end because of the lack of the unrealistic expectations that people have for each other. Or Russ, or not just unrealistic expectations. People don't manage their expectations. And I mean, I'm not shaming you for pumping and dumping. If that's what you want to do, if that's beneficial for you, then go right ahead. But for you to say that that can't exist and that's why you don't want to do it, that's a little far-fetched because I've been doing it for a long time. Marriage, it can actually work. You just have to manage your expectations.
Marriage is not for the weak.
No, I can't hear him. What did he just say? What did you say, Russ?
Nothing.
But Russ,
what did you say, Russ?
He said not in today's generation, but you're looking at a panel of married people.
I mean, I'm married, Russ. I have no children out of wedlock. I have one child. I've been a stay-at-home wife. I'm a career mom. My husband, infidelity, stuff like that. We've never had to deal with that. So I'm just sharing with you because I know a lot of y'all complaint sometimes is that these women don't exist. Where you talking to a woman where this exists.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to give you some insight.
Look at Jovo with the free therapy tonight.
Yeah, I'm trying to give you some insight that a lot of times, Russ, we want things from people that we don't even give to ourselves.
Exactly. And
that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, Russell. Like you see this heel right here.
I ain't here to shame you, brother. I'm just trying to give you some insight.
You have to be acceptors of this too. Maybe you can't find a person to marry you.
Yeah. To Jovo's point, you see the two heels. You see, we got the same. That's because we're married. Like we're married. So I'm actually his wife, and he's my husband, and we're actually married people. So people are still getting married these days.
Black people are getting married, Russ. I'm just saying. And Russ, I'm gonna tell you this too. A large percentage of Black people, where I'm from, they're married, and a large percentage of them, they either had their kids together before they got married, or they had kids after they got married. So I think what you might want to do is broaden your horizon, maybe outside of the city where you're from, maybe outside of the culture that you're used to, so you can get different perspectives because you never know, Russ. You can visit one of these places, brother, and it will blow your mind about the pump and dump. It might blow your mind about what you expect from women. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, Russ, I ain't shaming you for what you're doing, but it's that sometimes when we get so centered in one behavior, we have such a narrow assessment of things, and that's why we continue to do what we do.
Yeah.
No, actually, of course, we're not saying if he wants to hump and pump, that's cool, but you cannot put out this rhetoric like is no successful marriages, and all the guys that are getting married are suckers and they fell into a trap and all this stuff, because that's just not true. If you have had no luck in finding a woman that you want to marry, then I'm sorry for you, but it's just not true. And yes, 75% of marriages do end by divorce because the woman initiated, but that means they just wanted a divorce. They just wanted to leave a bad situation. That does not absolve the husband from anything just because the woman initiated it.
Let me
ask what'd you say, Russ? What'd you say?
Go ahead, Russ. Go ahead. So we can.
If there was a 75% chance when you walk out your house, right, and you were supposed to get shot, what would you do?
I'm gonna be in that 25% that don't get shot.
Right.
I'm gonna look at how I move, Russ. I'm gonna look at how I move. Like in certain places here in Atlanta, I don't frequent Russ.
Exactly.
I'm gonna strap on my bulletproof vest and go on about my day. I'm not gonna be stuck in the house, scared to leave out.
Like I said, marriage is not for the weak.
I'm not gonna live out of fear and limit my life to 4 walls to be stuck in the house all the time because I'm too scared to go out. I'm gonna strap it up. I'm gonna put on my bulletproof vest and I'm gonna get it going. That's life,
Russ. I think what we're trying to communicate to you is that you can be a part of the problem or you can be a part of the solution. Okay, so you can sit and complain all day about women this and women that.
Listen, I'm not complaining.
But okay, Russ, let me finish. But you have a very negative. Listen, Russ, listen. But listen. You're talking about the fact that a lot of marriages don't work out. You're not offering solutions. You yourself are not trying to learn anything from the 4 married people.
He contaminating all the single women that want to get married.
There are literally 4 married people on this panel who have been married for several years. One who's been married for almost 2 decades. And as opposed to trying to listen to learn something, you're saying, oh, well, it just doesn't work. It does. The statistics say this. When in reality, can I finish? See, nobody would want to marry you, Russ. Nobody would stay married to you because you have a very.
I'm not looking for marriage.
Okay, well, okay, we understand that, and we heard your reasons why, and they're very pessimistic. And if anybody goes into marriage with your mindset, their women would be divorcing them. They would be, and so it's fine. We're not ganging up on you for not wanting to be married. We're just addressing some of the things that you have said. And you started talking about this birthright to sleep around. We asked you about that. You never explained that. I wanted to try to, figure out what you were talking about, but that's neither here nor there. Okay. It is what it is. You don't want to get married, and that's completely fine. We ain't gonna argue with you about it, but you missed a great opportunity to learn about some successful marriages. And I hope that some people are not pessimistic about marriage and realize that there are benefits to it. And if we have people who can come together and learn and get better within and of themselves, they can come together with somebody else and make successful marriages.
It's not beneficial it's not beneficial to a weak man. You have men that get in marriages and they don't have a place inside their own marriage. So they feel helpless and they feel vulnerable and they feel like, oh, I'm not getting nothing out of the marriage because they're not putting nothing into the marriage. You have to put stuff into something and let it grow in order to get something out. Most of these men that you're talking about, they get in these marriages and they just like you, they just want to hump. They think sex is gonna be the tool to making everything right, and it's just not. It's a lot of hard work in this. So yeah, you might think I'm not getting nothing out of my marriage, but I'm getting a lot out of my marriage.
Even statistics say that men benefit more from marriage than women. So what are you talking about?
No, that's a lie.
No,
go ahead and tell him how you benefit in your marriage, what you get out of your marriage. He say the statistics say that you don't get any benefits from your marriage. So you want to tell him firsthand? Yeah, tell him.
Shit, what can I start? Well, I have that place where a lot of men say they have no room to be vulnerable and speak and be emotional and talk about their problems. I have a woman right at home I do that with all the time. So I get to I get to be the man I want to be, whether it's masculine, feminine, and I don't have to be judged by it. I get the support I want. I don't have to have $1 million to get respect, so I don't have to keep going out finding different women to please me and keep getting let down. I just have one that's going to learn how to not let me down, So, I mean, if you want to keep humping these different women and dealing with different personalities and going out having your little adventures every night, and end up getting the STD and dying alone and not having someone to properly cater to you and nurture your dreams and stuff like that, and you think you can do everything on your own, and you're gonna have this fulfilling life, no kids, because you don't have no kids, no wife, no nothing. Like, it's cool for right now. Maybe you was a late bloomer. Maybe you'll get it when you turn 50. But I mean, it's a lot more to life than just humping.
Yep. Pretty soon, your humping ain't gonna be humping no more.
Hey, Russ. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay. I wanted to ask you, did you grow up in a 2-parent home or did you grow up in a single-parent home? Did you observe marriages when you were growing up? And what was your experience with it?
Family.
Okay.
I come from a nuclear family. So
what did you learn from them?
The main reason why. Listen, I know what a real marriage looks like. You know what I mean? And the majority of these women out here, they don't fit the par for that.
Okay, but Russ, then I ask you, wait, stop, please stop. I ask you, what makes you appealing and compatible with the type of woman that you would marry? And why haven't you found her? Because there are women out here.
Is absolute because I'm not an advocate for marriage.
Okay. This goes to low. This goes to low self-esteem because you just said majority of women are not marriageable, right? So that means there is a small percentage of women that you think is, from what you just said, it's a small percentage. And if you're such this great guy, you should be able to get the woman in that small percentage. But since you already gave up on your chance of getting married, you're telling yourself that I can't even get the good women. So I'm just going to start humping all these fucked up women. That's what you're doing. Like, because from what you said, it's a small percentage of women that are married.
So what would make marriage beneficial? Go ahead. What you say? What do you say?
It's a bad deal. I mean, anybody that signs that contract for
how is it a bad deal? Please explain.
For him, it is. It is for him.
How? Wait, let him answer, please. How?
I'm going to explain.
Wait, say that again.
He said he go explain.
I'm going to explain. It's multiple things. One, if a man's financially stable and responsible, he's debt free, and he's been responsible, having a good 401k and investing his money, and he has kids with this woman. Listen, if she divorces him, she's going to get the kids, which means that he's going to have to pay child support. And on top of that, she has access to whatever assets he has, half of it. I think I know it's a bad deal, and no dude should put himself in that kind of position.
Okay, let me help him with statistics. He probably isn't going to listen, but let me help him anyway. Yeah. Statistically, since you are a statistics guy, okay, you can do your research. Statistically, women do worse off after a divorce than men do. Men typically gain back whatever it is that they lost in a divorce within a couple of years and do better. No, look it up statistically. You don't have to believe me. It's fine. Look it up statistically, and then you can decide on your own, right? But I'm letting you know that is what the data tells us, and that part of it is because the woman ends up getting custody of the children, which means she cannot work as much as the man can work because she has the children. So what I'm telling you is that no. What I'm saying is that for as much as you want to feel like that men are the ones who are risking it all, there are
we listen. Okay, there are in this conversation because we can't have a conversation if you're going to talk over somebody every time they say something you disagree with. Like we got to let's try to all of us try to keep. But you're But you don't like what she's saying, so now you're interrupting her. She's telling you something that you can look up for yourself. You can look up online and see that women who are divorced financially do not recover well. This is statistics. Now, if you want to argue with that, okay, so you want to argue with something that we know is true, then there's no reason to have this conversation, okay? So
the thing is this: the pool that he's swimming in, the guys that have gotten married, they was broke before, so they was broke after. And he's going off of that to be like, oh, they doing bad. They was already doing bad. He's not talking about these rich millionaires that get with these women and the woman takes $500,000. He's talking about these broke dudes that get married and then they got to pay child support and they can't handle it, so they financially messed up. That's who he's talking about. You have to know.
I have one more question for Russ, because
but even Russ had $100 million. Let's say he had, and he don't get whatever. Like I'm just at the point, like there's no reason to, argue with somebody who doesn't find value in marriage. But my whole thing is, don't make it about women.
You don't find value in women.
There are no traditional. No, first off, you got to make sure you're traditional, and you have to make sure you're traditional. I'm gonna leave it at that. Okay.
Oh, can I ask him one more question, Russ?
What value do you find in women?
Russ, what are your parents still together? And is that benefiting you guys as a family in its entirety, or is your family still intact?
My mother died when I was 17. When she was with my father, they had a good marriage. My mother was a good mother. There's no woman in the United States that could be in comparison to my mom. Like, she was the perfect woman.
And she was a traditional wife, like you. Your mom, was she like a caregiver in the home? Like, was mom like a at-home mom, or did she do both?
She did both, but eventually she stayed home completely. You know what I mean? To take care of the home for my father and stuff like that.
Okay.
We'll pitch in and look out for my pops, but you know what I mean?
I want to say this right quick. Sorry for your loss, but and I understand where you're coming from. It's not too many people that's gonna live up to your mother. It's this and that. But on another note, there are some great women out here, and of course, to anybody, the majority of the women is not going to be for them. But everybody has a small percent of women that we can pick from. And you have to just tap into your niche and find that niche of women that can be compatible to you. And hopefully you don't give up on that. And hopefully you are happy, humping and pumping. I'm not the judge. That's we all done it. I was single and going around humping, and I found a lot of joy in it. So I get where you're coming from. You know what I'm saying? But on the flip side, there is probably somebody out there for you if you willing to go the extra mile and challenge yourself. You know what I'm saying? So it's not easy, and but it's a lot of good women out here. And of course, no one's going to compare to your mother, but it's some great women out here.
Yeah, and the main thing I wanted you to take away is that without you get no reward without risk. It's not telling nobody can live this life without risking something. And usually the things that are most valuable carry the highest risk. So you are not going to get those rewards without willing to make a risk. So that's why when you asked about your analogy about saying, if you had this percentage of getting shot, are you going to go outside? Yes. Like, I'm going to risk. I would risk that because it would be so valuable to me to be able to have the freedom to not be confined. Like, what kind of life is that? Like, you can't be so afraid of getting hurt or have life. Like, that's just life. Like, life is happiness, but it's also hurt. And you're never going to get happiness if you're not willing to risk the hurt. You're just going to be hurt anyway. You're going to hurt yourself a different way. So you just have to understand that without that, there is nothing in this world that is worth having that comes without risk.
Period. Big question.
Wait, hold on. Russ, go ahead, and then Darren, you can ask your question. Okay. We're going to close out. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay. You guys are dismissing the fact that majority of the women in today's time, they're ruthless. Know what I mean? Now, if you had a son and he's ready to go out in this world, wouldn't you warn your son on the behavior patterns of female that use men and manipulate men?
I have a 19-year-old son, and he does not have this problem with women. He doesn't complain about women the way that you're complaining about women. Exactly. He actually has really, really fond things to say about the women that he deals with. He has fond things to say about them. And my son is 19 years old, so he is out here dating.
This is the real question, Russ. Out of all these women that you are humping and pumping on, how many do you think deserve your time and what you give them? Like, are they all like women that you think are like good women that you should be like satisfied?
I've came across women that are suitable, but with that small percentage of getting played, like I'm not willing to. I mean?
So Russ, so
you're not willing to risk it. Your father risked it to get your mom, and he was rewarded with your mom. And you just said nobody. You said look at how wonderful you said your mother was. Your father put in risk to get your mother, and look what he got rewarded with. You can't be out here so scared to get hurt that you're not willing to take a risk. You have to know that that's life, and you have to know that you're strong enough to handle it. You're strong enough to handle it.
Rush, you're operating out of fear of what could happen, out of the unknown. You probably have a lot of men in your life who are not married, some who got divorced, and it's just a jaded way of thinking. And you're free to want what you want, but we're asking you why you don't want to get married, and it's all stemming from hurt or fear. Okay, it's stemming from.
It's not.
Or it's stemming from a place of
it's stemming off the reality on things and stats, the numbers.
But Russ, listen, I literally just listen.
Nigga, you go outside.
To you about problem solving. You're a man, right? I would hope that I just talked to you about problem solving. We do have certain issues in our society. That doesn't mean we say, oh, let's keep it that way. That's just how it is. Statistics say this. So, I'm just going to do this. Everybody else doing drugs. So now I'm just going to do drugs.
Exactly. Let me help you out. Let me help you out. The average.
You had the opportunity. Hold on, Cannon. You had the opportunity to learn from 4 people on this panel about marriages. And you chose not to. So it's like, it's not women, Russ. It's not Russ. Please stop. You don't like what I'm saying, so you're interrupting me. It's not women. There are women out here who are suitable for marriage. You are either not attracting them or you are guarding yourself from them because of this fear of you being hurt. And that's that. There's nothing else to say to that. Stop. There's just nothing to say to that. You don't want to hear, you keep cutting people off when they say little things that trigger you or that you don't agree with. But what we just said, I mean, it's as plain as that. There's nothing else to say.
Ms. Jovo, give email and reach out and make some money off this man.
Yes, you should call.
I wanted to leave Russ with something because Russ, it's not a lot of us in certain generations that do come from a nuclear family. My parents divorced when I was 7, and they had some very toxic behaviors that prevented them from staying married. I want you to think about something, Russ, from a different perspective, because I know one of the complaints that we hear all the time in this space is that there's a lack of loyalty, quote unquote, with the modern woman or with the modern guy. You are one of the few that came from a nuclear family, and from what you share with me in terms of your work ethic, like you talked about being financially stable, that's important to you. I can hear it just by how you speak about money and saving money and having a plan. Think about the impact that you would have, not just in your family, but in the community. If you found someone, maybe she's not just like mom, but someone who shares those same attributes, you build with her just like your parents built. Think about all these benefits that could come out of a guy like you who observed that growing up. Think about all the benefits that could come from you, you know, for your family, as well as somebody else who may be on the outside looking at you, how that could make changes in your family and in our community. I just want you to give that some thought, because I think sometimes people don't understand that marriage, the covenant of marriage, has a purpose behind it. And when you're in a marriage that has purpose, it evokes positive changes, not just within that marriage and within that family, but it evokes changes with everybody around it and the community. So I just want you to give that some thought.
Absolutely.
Can you understand where I'm coming from with that, Russ? Okay, I'm not telling you that you know you got a dead set agree with me. I'm just telling you to give it some thought. Okay, give it some thought, and then feel free to call back into the show and tell me what you thought about when you thought about it, when you gave it some thought. A guy like you, Russ, listen to what I'm saying. You grew up with a black man. I don't know what nationality your mom might have been, but you grew up with a man and a woman who raised you, right? Up until you were 17, young adult. You saw a man probably work, right? You working, you saving money, you financially stable. Think about how you can spread that, just that part. If you were to go out here, you know, make your, you know, consider marriage, okay, and build with somebody like that and keep that going. And think about that, you know, because we say a lot. That's that 20, but that 80 is what we actually do, right? And you strike me as somebody who want to see some changes in the Black community based on your opinions about women, relationships. So I guess I'm asking you to kind of put your money where your mouth is. If you want to see change, the best way to see change is sometimes be the change you want to see. I'm just saying, Russ.
And there's two things that I just want to leave you with after Ms. Jovo just gave that excellent point, right? Is that when that you take that, what she just said, and trust yourself, right? You have to trust yourself, one, that you're going to make good decisions in the person that you choose and the situations you choose to put yourself in. And then you have to trust the second part of is that if life does what life does and becomes unpredictable, that you are strong enough and smart enough and capable enough of handling it. Those are the two things that you just got to trust. Like, that's just how life works. Like, you have to find that trust in yourself. If you don't have it and you're like, I don't know if I can handle it, whatever, you have to find a way to get that for yourself, because that's all that life is. Like, you have to know, for one, that you will make the proper choices. And then the other part of it, since we don't control other people and life just is going to do what life does, you have to trust yourself to know that you can handle it. Those are the only two things that you have to do, and you'll be fine. Like, I promise.
Oh, okay. All right. I see where you guys getting at, and this is an actual good thing that you guys want to see the nuclear family exist, because great countries is built off the nuclear family, and I respect that. You know what I mean? And I understand where you guys are coming from. You know.
And Russ, what you said about that whole it may not benefit, dude, you looking at somebody who, like, I was 8 years old telling my parents, y'all need to split up. This ain't gonna work. Like, just I had that mindset. So for me to be married for almost 2 decades and have a child and deal with marriage and parenthood, it's a lot of work. But then I think about the greater purpose behind it as well. Like, I am literally breaking a generational curse in my family. And for me right now, that supersedes a lot of other stuff that I could be complaining about as it relates to Black men don't do this and Black men don't do that. I actually have a Black man that does a whole lot. Okay.
Yeah, but I have to agree with what Ms. Jovo said about the fact that you actually grew up in a family that you want versus how she said she didn't. And I'll tell you that my husband or I, neither one of us did either. So for us, it's also breaking a generational curse. And then guess what? It's a lot that we have to figure out on our own because we didn't have that example. Right. And that makes it that much harder. But guess what? We have a higher purpose. And so you just have to have a higher purpose, like a higher commitment to something bigger than yourself. and then you can work it out. But when you are just only thinking about yourself or the immediate gratification of, you know, just feeling good in the moment, then yeah, you're right. You're going to have a really hard time. But if you have a commitment to say, this is the reality that I want, you have to do the work, and you are now responsible for creating that environment. It comes like life is not going to give it to you. Like you have to make it. You have to manifest it. And the thing is, you thoughts become actions. And if you're sitting all day thinking the most negative things and thinking along all of these lines of the worst thing that's going to happen, then guess what? The worst thing is going to continue to happen. That's what you're going to manifest. Like you're going to cause that to happen in your life even more so than it does. Like life is already hard enough. Like I say, life is just going to be hard without you doing anything. You don't need to add anything additional to it. Like energy is energy. Energy is never created nor destroyed. But guess what? It's going to be positive energy or it's going to be negative energy. And right now you expending a lot of negative energy in a part of your life that I think that you do not necessarily want to look like it's looking for you right now. I think you want it to look different, but guess what? You have to envision that. You have to allow yourself to envision that so that you can manifest it, because you are not going to be able to manifest it as long as you're always thinking the worst. If you think the worst is going to happen because you're going to make it happen, because that's how thoughts work. Thoughts come into action. So you have to guard very carefully the things that you think. You have to. If you find yourself going into those negative spaces, you have to retrain your mind to stop doing that. And then once you retrain your mind to stop doing that, you will be able to imagine the life that you want, and then you can create the life that you want. Like, that's the thing.
All right, Russ. You want to share any last minute thoughts, and we're going to go ahead and close out?
All right. Yeah, man, like I said before, I understand where I'm coming from. I want to preserve the nuclear family. And, yo, I want to see that happen too. I mean, to a certain extent. But, you know, from my life experience and from the things I've seen, I got to stay sucker free. But I respect y'all thoughts on the nuclear family. I think the nuclear family is important. I think it needs to come back. And I think people should hold on to their values and principles and hold down the fort together as a union. You know what I mean?
All right. Well, thank you so much for calling.
It's always a pleasure, Russ. Always. It's an interesting pleasure, but it's always a pleasure, brother.
Hold on real quick. Yo, Ashley, what's up? You gonna cam up when I go live tomorrow? What's up?
Oh, you know, you said 3:30. I gotta work, so.
Oh, so you gonna be at work?
Yeah,
me too. I'm gonna be at work too.
But you know, I'll respond back to you on the
what happened?
Chat.
What happened?
Yeah.
I like that dialogue, man. I think it's dope that y'all promoting this nuclear family thing. There should be more of y'all promoting this, because in this day and age, you know, people have perverted the divine union. I mean,
we being the change you want to see, Russ. We just encouraging you to do the same, man. That's it.
All right, thank you so much. I'll message you. I might be able to stop through, but it's not gonna be like at 3:30.
Oh yeah, it's not gonna be 3:30 on the dot, but I mean, we can come through a couple hours after. I mean, because we just for a while. I mean.
Okay. All righty. All right. I should be able to swing through. I'll let you know. Okay. All right. Thank you, Russ. All right, bye-bye. Okay, y'all. Let's see. For therapy.
I know. You know, I started to put my
whole session.
I started to put my hourly rate in the comments, but you know,
you should have.
I'm here for my people. I'm here for my people.
I was gonna play some background music, girl. I was about to cry. When you gave that speech at the end, I was like, "You're so right. You're so right."
Yeah,
But did y'all hear him say? I want to point out something to y'all. Did y'all hear this man say he buried his mama when he was 17?
Yeah,
and his mama was.
Join us live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time.